Hey everybody, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz Gaming, and today I wanted to do a review. Now you guys have seen the overview video that I did of the Atari Star Wars here from Arcade1up. You saw me go over what it looks like on the outside and my thoughts of it overall. Well, I wanted to put a different spin. Everybody loved the fact that on one of my other videos I had gotten some of the folks that are not people that own these cabinets, or really they're just normal people. They're not people that are purists or think that these replicas that Arcade1up puts out are junk. They're not caring if it's emulation. They care about if it's fun or not. So what I thought would be cool is to give you their opinion of the machine and see if they have any complaints or any gripes based on the machine. I'll follow it up with my opinions and things that I think could be improved or need fixing. So let's take a look. So as I was saying before I was going to do the review on this, I wanted to talk to a few people and see what their thoughts are. They don't own any of these games. First time that they're playing it. We've got Christy here. She's playing the Star Wars cabinet. Christy, what's your thoughts just playing this for the first time? Trying to beat Cody's high score.
Well, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, it's a lot of fun, like being with the controls. Like you feel like you're right inside the ship, and I feel like the controls are really smooth. It's definitely a challenge, though. I mean, you easily get sucked into the game because you're, I don't know, it's like the graphics, they just come right at you. So you feel like you're actually piloting a ship. It's actually a lot of fun.
Now they have a stand-up version of this cabinet, and I know you haven't played that or anything like that, but what is your thoughts? Do you think that this needs to be like a sit-down cabinet, or?
I think it's more fun sitting down, because I like, even though I'm obviously an adult, I feel like I'm a kid again playing games. Like it just has a element of nostalgia. You know, sitting here and playing, like if I'd have had this as a kid, it would have been hard to pull me away from it. Yeah, exactly. Like it just gives you that element that you're flying, you know, like you're sitting controlling a ship. So I think it's more fun to be sitting down and feel like you're piloting a ship. And I'm
You're getting hit by the asteroids.
I'm getting hit by asteroids right now. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Like I feel like adults and kids would really enjoy the sit-down version a lot better than standing and playing. So
like I said earlier when I did the overview, I wanted to get some real-time feedback from people, not just myself, about this cabinet. Again, this is completely unsolicited. We're not being paid to say this, but we want to bring you guys a real review. Hey, I know it's noisy in here. We have a bunch of people over playing some different games, but I wanted to get some opinions on the Star Wars cabinet from Arcade1up. So right now, Cody has the highest score right now on my cabinet, The Empire Strikes Back. How many times did you play it?
A lot. Like, we're talking just to get to that #1 spot, it was like at least 20, 25 times. I filled up the top 10 before we finally got to #1.
I know, he boosted me out of second place, but...
Yeah, not sorry.
So overall, sit-down cabinet, you know, you played the stand-up cabinets that I have.
Oh yeah.
Is this better sitting down versus possibly standing up?
The sit-down one with this is just really cool because it really, I don't know, I feel like if you were standing, it just doesn't get into it, because I start playing and I start really like moving with it. So with sitting down really feels like you're getting into the game.
Pros and cons. If you had to say something good about it versus something negative, what would you say the negative of this is?
Negative.
Just something, first thing that comes to your mind if you had to say a negative.
Steve, honestly, right at this moment, I don't know if I have a negative. I mean, I don't mean to be...
No, that's fine. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, maybe I need to keep playing it, but honestly, I really am having a freaking great time playing this.
Now, what about the control? How's the control feel? I know Christy I talked to, she had an opinion. I want to get your opinion on it.
You look at it and you think maybe your first thought is maybe a little too blocky, but as you're playing it, it really feels smooth. Like you really, like you're pulling back, you're pulling forward, left and right, and it's actually really moving really well. So that was my first thought, was that was going to be my negative, but it's not. It really feels good.
It feels like you're playing it.
Yeah, it feels good.
Now, one of the things I did say I'd like to do in Arcade1up, I want to throw this out to you, is we'd like to get a subwoofer under that seat.
Yeah.
So I might try to do a mod with that and pipe it in, so when you shoot something, you feel the rumble with it. But
So all overall, I think you're pretty much in consensus with myself and Christy, where he said that it was very nice, fluid motions.
Yeah.
Everything works. You can sit in it, or you can kind of, you got long legs, you can stick them out. It's adjustable. The seat is adjustable, so you can go back. So really cool. So stay tuned for more.
Okay, well, so there you have it. From normal people, it's a fantastic cabinet. I think it's a fantastic cabinet. It's a great centerpiece. It's kind of why I have it right in the center of the arcade. I've got arcades in front of me, and I've got arcades behind me. I've got consoles. This is a conversational piece. People like this. Now, I will say, after using this for quite some time, it holds up really nice. It holds up very well. And I will say that I have one of the highest scores on here under Empire Strikes Back, I believe I have it under. The Star Wars, the original game, Star Wars, on here. This one here is very difficult. And so the Empire Strikes Back, I'm in first place on it. I have 513,940 points. So again, it's not to brag, but I really do love this game. I've been playing it a lot, and I wanted to give feedback based off of that. Some of the folks from my overview video had addressed some questions about the sled. Does the sled scratch up the vinyl on the panel here? Because they don't want to get it messed up. That was one of the drawbacks as to why they didn't want to purchase this. And I would say no. You have at least 1/4 of an inch on each side gap between the sled, as we call it, or the seat, and the actual arcade cabinet. So you really don't have any problems as far as scratching it up. There is one minor problem that I have, because tall people, even if you slide it back, they don't like to keep their feet in the sides. So what they're doing is they're placing their feet on the top of the rails of the seat, and what they're doing is, especially like we don't wear shoes in the house, everybody's in stocking feet or bare feet, and what they're doing is they're rolling the graphic over on top. So I keep having to kind of press it on. I might even have to glue it, depending on how bad it gets. Right now it's not too bad, it's not noticeable, but that is definitely something you guys want to keep mindful of, because if you got little kids, it's easy. Just tell them keep their feet inside or keep them outside. Don't rest them up on top of the rails, because that is something that could happen. Now, that's no fault of Arcade1up's. I did think about getting some like runner type T-molding, something that I could put on top of there that has some grip to it that would protect it. And the other part of me and my wife were just like, just let it go. It's not a big deal. Overall, some of the guys were saying like this became loose after a while. It doesn't return back. Now, granted, I've only had it for about a month and a half. I haven't had any issues with it. So far, it's holding solid. The LEDs are showing bright. No problems there. The marquee looks fantastic. The seat, after a while, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you, the padding doesn't hold up. And what I mean by that is, after a bunch of people sitting on it, heavy people, light people, it starts to build a concave in it. And it starts to become feeling like you're sitting on a thin piece of pad that is on wood. Now, Arcade1up never said it was a thick pad that you can always replace it out. It's not a big deal if you know how to make stuff like that. Just putting it out there. Is it still comfortable to sit on? Absolutely. People sit on this even when we're not playing this game. They'll sit here if we're playing, on the consoles, or if we're playing Guitar Hero. Some guys sit here facing the TV and play. So, by all means, it's usable. I'm just letting you know that after a while, it is going to build like a concave in it, like any other seat. Can you play for a long time? We've had guys that sat here for an hour or 2 hours to play this, and no issues. Nobody's complained of a sore rear end or anything like that. So, my son loves this game. This is probably, if I had to say, besides my multicade back here, of all the cabinets, this one's probably played the most of all the Arcade1ups. But this is by far everyone's favorite. Little kids can come in, sit down, and play it. So if you're on the fence about getting the Star Wars one, whether it's a stand-up or the sit-down cabinet, if you've got little kids, this is a no-brainer. Get the sit-down cabinet. If you've got little kids that you don't want them grabbing the yoke and turning it and everything like that, then get the stand-up cabinet. But for little kids, they can come in here, have a great time. My nephews and my nieces were in here playing. they can sit there, pull the triggers, and play a game and actually know how to play it. So I do not regret this purchase. I think it's really great. Overall, great cabinet. I really like it. It adds to the arcade game room. So again, I wanted to follow up with you guys. I know I told you I would give you a review, so I wanted to make sure that I did that. So guys, make sure you check us out every Friday night for the Retro Buzz at 6 p.m. Eastern. Also, feel free to go over, be one of my first patrons. I want to start getting some things going. Once I get a Patreon following going, we want to do some special events where we can do some special content for you guys, whether I switch my pickups to the patrons. I don't know yet. You guys tell me what you want. Patreon.com/thetechbuzz. Also, check us out every Wednesday for Legend Center at 6 p.m. Eastern. And also, feel free to check out my website, thetechbuzz.net. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your support and to continue following here. And we've got some really cool things that are going to be happening over the next couple weeks and even couple months. All right, guys. Until next time, keep it buzzing.